Alright, hey guys, it's Toby, and I'm back with Sword Art Online, Volume 2, Chapter 2, Part 2. It's a lot of twos. Hopefully we can finish this. Let's roll. The 2 months of beta testing were like a dream. At my school I thought of endlessly of my skill set, equipment, and items. I ran all the way home as soon as school ended and dived till dawn. The beta test ended in the blink of an eye. One day my character was reset. I felt a sense of loss as if half of my actual self had been cut away. And now, November 6, 2022. That's how I'm going to say the dates. Sorry, Sunday. Sword Art Online, after all my preparations were finished, officially started its online service at 1 p.m. Of course I had been waiting for 30 minutes, and then logged on without even a second's delay. When I checked the server, over 9,500 people had already logged in. It seemed as if all of the people who had been lucky enough to get their hands on the game felt the same way I did. All the online shopping sites announced that the game was sold out seconds after it had gone on sale. The offline sales, which started yesterday, had created lines of people who had queued up to 4 days, creating enough of a racket to get on the news that meant all the people who had been able to buy a copy of the game were almost serious game addicts. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I'm gonna say Clen. Action showed this clearly as well. After I logged into Sword Art Online, or SO, I started running through the nostalgic stone paved roads of Starting City. Headed for the weapon shop, realizing that I was a beta tester. After seeing me dash, Clen ran over without paying his attention. "Hey, teach me a few things," he begged. I wonder how he could be so shameless and demanding to a person he hadn't met before. I was so lost to words. It was almost amazing. Well, why don't we go to the weapon shop? I answered like some NPC. We ended up forming a party, and I began teaching him some basics of fighting. And that's how we ended up in the current situation. To tell the truth, I didn't get along with people in real life, in games. Perhaps even less so. During beta testing, I got to know a couple of people, but I didn't get close enough to anyone actually to call him a friend. But Clen had a side to him that grows on you. And I didn't find that uncomfortable either. Thinking that I might be able to get along with him, I opened my mouth. "So what do you want to do? Do you want to keep hunting till you get used to it?" "Sure, it's... Whoa. Sure, it's... Whoa. Hold on. Okay. Like, the arrow just swooshed down. Sure is what I want to say, but Clen's delicate eyes looked at the bottom of the right vision. He must have been checking the time. Well, I should log off and eat. I ordered some pizza for 5:30. Pretty, though. Pretty thorough. Whoops. Except for a loss of words. Clen stressed out his chest. "Of course," he said proudly. "Promised to meet some of the mates at the Starting City in a bit. I could introduce you to some of them, and you could register them as friends. That way we could always send a message. How about it?" I mumbled subconsciously. I got along with Clem pretty well, but there was no guarantee that it'd be the same with his friends. I felt like there would be a higher chance of not getting along with them, and I would, as a result, follow with Clem as well. Should I? Seeming to understand the reason of my not so confident answer, Clem shook his head. "I don't mean to force you. There'll be a chance to introduce you sometime anyway." "Yeah, sorry, and thanks." As soon as I thanked him, Clem shook his head vigorously. Hey, I should want to thank you. I got a lot of help from you. I'll pay you back sometime, soon, mentally. Clem smiled and took a look over at the clock. "Well, I'll log off for a bit. Thanks a lot, Kirito. Be seeing ya." Well, then he put his hand forward, and at the moment, the person who had been great leader in another game and shook his hand. "Yeah, see you around." We let go of each other's hand. That was some point where Anagard, or Sword Art Online, stopped being just some fun game for me. Clem stepped back a bit, put his index finger and thumb together, and pulled downwards. This was the action to open the main menu window. Immediately afterwards, there was a ringing sound, and a shining purple rectangle appeared. Moved a bit, sat on a rock, and opened my menu too. I started moving my finger to organize the items I had gotten from fighting a boar. Then, Clem said in a strange tone. Bleh. "What's this? There's no logout button." Stopped moving my fingers and raised my head a bit. "No button? No way. Look a bit closer," I said, a bit confused. The swordsman opened his eye wide beneath the banana and pushed his face closer to the menu. The rectangle wider than it was high had a bunch of buttons to the left and a silhouette showing what equipment you had on the right. At the bottom of the menu there was a logout button that allowed you to escape from this world. As I was turning my head to the inventory list of items I had gained over hours of fighting, Clint started speaking in an unusually high voice. "It's not there." "Oh, wait. It's really not there. You take a look, Kirito." "I told you there's no way it's not there," I muttered with a sigh as I toppled on the tapped on the button to the left, and looked toward the menu screen. The inventory window on the right closed and the menu screen reopened. To the left silhouette, which still had a lot of empty spaces, there was a lot of row of buttons. I moved my hand in a movement that almost became a habit, and my body froze. It wasn't there. As Clint had said, the button had been there during the beta testing. No, even right after I logged on, it had disappeared. I stared at the empty space for a couple of seconds, then looked through the menu, making sure it hadn't changed position. Clint looked up with right written on his face. Not there, right? Yeah, it's not there. I nodded, although it felt slightly annoying to agree so easily. Clint smiled and started rubbing his thick chin. Well, it's the first day, so sort of bugs could occur around now. The GM should be crying by now. The number of messages flooding in. Clint said calmly. It's alright. You stand around like that? You said you ordered some pizza, didn't you? Asked Daisy. Ah, that's right. As I said, I jumped around, his eyes wide. I threw a couple of items I didn't need from the inventory, which had turned red from having too many items, then walked over to Clint. Ah, my anchovy pizza and ginger ale. Why don't you call it GM? They might cut you off from their side. I tried, but there's no response. It's alright. 525. Hey, Kirito, is there some other way to log out? As I listened to Clint, who was waving both arms, said, my face became rigid. I felt a groundless fear and sent a chill down my back. Let's see the logout, I said while thinking. To get out this virtual reality and back to my room, I have to open the menu, press logout button, and press yes to the window that popped up to the right. It's pretty simple, but at the same time, apart from that procedure, I wasn't aware of any other way of logging out. I looked at Clint's face, situated quite a bit higher than my own, and shook my head. No, there's none. If you want to log out yourself, you have to use the menu. Apart from there's no other way. That's impossible. There's got to be something. Clint. Oh, I called his name. Clint started shouting as he was denying my statement. Return. Log. Escape. But of course nothing happened. There was no voice commands in Sword Art Online. After Clint shouted at this, and that even jumped, I spoke to him. Clint, it's useless. Even the manual doesn't have anything emergency access terminates. But that's just stupid. Even if it's a bug, I can't even get back to my own room in my own body when I want to. Clint shouted, bewildered expression on his face. I totally agreed with him. That was impossible. It was complete nonsense. But it was indisputably the truth. Whoa. Just happened to me. Hold on. The mouse keeps doing... Okay. Hey, what is this? It's really weird right now. We can't get out of this game. Clint gave a desperate laugh and quickly started off. Wait. We can just turn the power off or pull the gear off. As I watched Clint move his hands as he was trying to make some invisible hat, I felt anxiety return. That's impossible. Both of them. Right now we can't move our bodies. Our real bodies. The nerve gear intercepts all signals that our brain is sending here. I tapped at the back of the head and reroutes them to move our avatars here. Clint slowly closed his mouth and put his hands on his hands down. We both stood speechless for a while, we each lost in thought. To reach full drive state, nerve gear intercepts the signals of our brain, sends down our spines, and translate them so that we can control our avatars in this world. So however wildly we swing our arms around here, the arm of the real lying body, lying on the bed right now, wouldn't move an inch, ensuring that I wouldn't hit my head against the corner of my table. But because of this fluctuation, we can't cancel the full drive of our own free will right now. So unless the bug is fixed, somebody in the real world takes the gear off we have to wait for. Wait it out, Clint mumbled, still a daze. But I live by myself. You? I hesitated slightly, but told him the truth. I live with my mom and my younger sister, a family of 3. I think I'll be forced out of Divine if I don't come down for dinner. What? How old is your sister? Clint slowly looked at me, his eyes sparkling. I pushed his head away. You are pretty calm right now, aren't you? She's in a sports club and hates games, so she got nothing in common with people like us. But the more than that, I spare my right arm attempted to change subject. Don't you think it's weird? Well, sure, since it's a bug. No, I mean, it's not just a bug. It can't log out bug. It's big enough to problem to bother the operation of the game itself. Like your pizza in the real world is getting colder every second. It's actually an economical loss, isn't it? A cold pizza. That's meaninglessly as hard, Nato. I ignored the meaningless comments and kept talking. If it's like the operator should be the server down and log everyone out, whatever the cause. But it's there 15 minutes since we noticed this, and there hasn't been a single system message, let alone taking the server down. It's just too weird. Now I think of it, you were right. Clint started rubbing his chin and a serious expression on his face. In the area beneath the banner which covered a bit of his sharp nose, and tons of sparkle in his eyes. I started listening to Clint, feeling a little strange about talking with someone whom I never met if I erased my account. The company which created Swords Art Online, Argist, is a company that's famous for being considerate of its user, isn't it? That's why everyone was fighting to get their hands on a copy, even though it's the first online game. As I say, game. It's sorta meaningless if they screw up like this on their first day. I agree, Swords Art Online is the first virtual role-playing mass multiplayer online role-playing game. If something goes wrong now, they might pass regulations for the whole game. Clint and I looked at each other's virtual faces inside. Incar's, whatever, seasons were based on reality, so it was early fall here. I looked up, sucking in the virtual air, taking a deep, cold breath. 100 meters away, I could see the light purple bottom of the second floor as I followed up the uneven surface. I saw a huge tower, the labyrinth. That was the path to the upper floor, and I thought I was connected to the outer entrance. It was just past 5:30. The small strip of sky could be seen with the light of the sunset. Despite the situation I was in, seeing of the endless plains, painted gold with the light of the evening sun, I found myself speechless in front of the beauty of this virtual world. Right after that, the world changed forever. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm going to do Chapter 3, and then I'm just going to continue on. If you like this, subscribe, favorite it, peace out. Booyah!